So in the Dhammacakka Sutta, here is Pyatipi Dukkha. But in the Masatipatthana Sutta, Pyatipi is not included. Instead of Pyatipi Dukkha, it there come Soka Prideva Dukkha Domanasa Upayasa Pidukha. Path is suffering, Jatipi Dukkha, decay is suffering, Jara Dukkha, death is suffering, Marana Dukkha. Soka Prideva Dukkha Domanasa Upayasa Pidukha. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair are suffering. Apiyehi Sambhyoga Dukkha, Piyehi Vibhyoga Dukkha, Yampicha Nalavati Tampi Dukkha. Association with beings and things that one dislikes is suffering. Dissociation from beings and things that one likes is suffering. Not to get what one desires is suffering. In brief, the five aggregates of clinging are suffering. The first one is jati. Jati is also oppressed by rising and falling. Jati again and again, and it coming and going. It appear and disappear. Jara is appearing and disappearing. Varana, born and die, come and go, appearing and disappearing is suffering. Sorrow is suffering because appearing and disappearing. Lamentation, come and go. Pain, come and go. Grief, appearing and disappearing. Despair, appearing and disappearing. Association with beings and things that one dislikes, also it is appearing and disappearing. Dissociation from beings and things that one like, that is come and go. Not to get what one desire is suffering because it's appearing and disappearing. Everything in the world are constantly oppressed by appearing and disappearing. Because of this, Buddha declared that the five aggregates subject to the five aggregates of clinging are suffering. So 11 dukkha, jati, jara, marana, soka, prideva, dukkha, domnasu, payasa, etc. These 11 types of suffering, starting from jati, starting from birth, to suffering, not to get one likes. Yampecha nalavati tampi dukkha. These 11 dukkha, 11 types of suffering arise. Suffering arise because there are 5 upadana khanda. There are 5 groups of grasping. There are 5 aggregates of clinging and 11 dukkha, 11 suffering occur. So Buddha said, Sankete na pinju paranda khanda dukkha. So these 5 groups of grasping, 5 upadana khanda is the truth of suffering. The aggregates of rupa and nama, mind and body process, which form the object of clinging, are called upadana khanda. 5 groups of clinging. So these five groups of clinging are made up of Rupa Upadana Khandha, the group of material form, Vedana Upadana Khandha, the group of feeling, Sinya Upadana Khandha, the group of perception, Sankara Upadana Khandha, the group of material concomitants, Vijnana Upadana Khandha, the group of consciousness. We all sentient beings exist as such only with these five groups forming our substantive mass. We cling to our body, which is merely an aggregate of rupa, aggregates of material form. We regard our body as it is I, it is my body. My body is permanent. So we cling to our body in this way. So the group of material form is called Upadana Khandha, Rupa Upadana Khandha. The mental state made up of consciousness and mental concomitant are also clung to, are also grasped, taking them to be I'm thinking, it is my mind, it is I who think. Thinking is permanent. So we cling to our mental state in this way. So these mental states, nama are known as Upadana Khandha. This is how attachment occur on the groups of Rupa and Nama, mind and body as a whole. To consider each separate phenomena in detail, Upadana Khandha, mind and matter are conspicuous every time we see an object. When we see an object, the obvious one is mind and matter. The Upadana Khandha or mind and matter is prominent on every occasion when we hear, smell, taste, touch, imagine, and think. At the moment of seeing, you note seeing. What are the obvious? Eye sensitivity, retina is obvious. The object outside, conspicuous, and seeing consciousness are quite conspicuous. So in this consciousness of seeing, sometimes there may be pleasant feeling, sometimes unpleasant feeling. At the moment of seeing, also perceptions or recognition of the object seen. At the moment of seeing, making effort and bending our mind to accomplish the act of seeing is clear. The knowledge that an object is just seen is obvious. So these Rupa, Vedana, Sinya, Sankara, and Vijnana are conspicuous at the moment of seeing. But when the person cannot practice vipassana, or some they practice but they have not yet advanced to the stage of appreciating the nature of reality, They remain attached to their eye sensitivity object, and they regard the clear eyesight as I see. It is my eye. Seeing is permanent. When they see the body and limbs, attachment arises. I see my own body. This is my hand. This is my leg. It exists permanently. If we see other people, they appear as a person, they appear as a creatures, enduring, lasting. Because of such arousals of attachment to them, these rupa, this material form of eye sensitivity, the objects are called rupa upadana khanda. So in addition to pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling, there is also neutral feeling. What is concerned with wholesome neutral feeling is included in pleasant feeling. What is concerned with unpleasant, what is concerned with unwholesome neutral feeling is included in unpleasant feeling. Both pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling give rise to attachment. It is my feeling. It is my pleasant feeling. It is everlasting. I feel very well. I feel terrible. Causing attachment in this way, pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling on scene and object is called Vedana Upadana Khanda. On perceiving an object, attachment can arise. I recognize it. I don't forget it. So that kind of perception is called Sinya Upadana Khanda. Exercising the way to see an object is called Chetana volition. In the vocabulary of the text, it is called Ajin. But will or volition is meaning quite clearly. Manasikara goes along with Chetana. It is pondering or bending your mind towards an object. Then there is Phassa, contact. But Chetana, volition, and Manasikara are predominating factors. So there is also attachment towards these mental states as these are enduring. So these two mental concomitant of wailing and bending the mind is called Sankara Upadana Khanda. By Sankara, it is meant conditioning. In the case of seeing, it means bringing condition to accomplish the act of seeing. That is Sankara Upadana Khanda. Just knowing that an object is seen is eye consciousness, seeing consciousness. Also, we attach to that consciousness as I see, I know, the seeing eye is everlasting. Because of the possibility of such attachment, consciousness is called Vijnana Upadana Khanda. So just at the moment of seeing, only just Namarupa, just only Upadana Kanda. There's no I, no you, and no individual, no living entity. They just arise and disappear at the moment. So to capture this Namarupa or aggregates, meditation instruction is you have to note seeing immediately. Every time you see, to know seeing as seeing urgently. Every time an object is seen is to enable meditators to see the groups of Rupa and Nama as they really are. And, and it is to remain at the stage of just seeing and not to become attached to them as I. This process, this seeing is permanent, pleasant, good, etc. So at the moment of seeing, only just Namarupa or the five aggregates of clinging. Can you follow me for your knowledge? At the moment of seeing, the eye sensitivity and the sight are Rupa, Upadana Khandha. Feeling pleasant or feeling unpleasant is Vedana, Upadana Khandha. Recognizing or remembering the object is Sanya, Upadana Khandha. Exercising the way to see and turning the attention on the object is Sankara, Upadana Khandha. Just knowing that an object is seen is Vijnana, Upadana Khandha. Just the five aggregates appearing at that moment and disappearing at that moment of seeing, another seeing come. Objects are different, the functions are different, characteristics are different. So Meditator, we can distinguish mind and matter immediately if you practice. So at the moment of seeing, meditator have to note seeing urgently. Why is this? Yogi must note and observe the presently arising object immediately and continuously so that kilesa, mental defilements, have no chance to arise in our mind. If we are late to note, then defilements such as liking, disliking, and personality views can arise. When these mental defilements arise, there is no mental purity, and if there is no mental purity, no wisdom, no insight knowledge can arise. So without the development of wisdom and insight knowledge, the person cannot realize Nibbana, which is total freedom and the end of all suffering. So when we practice meditation, Because of the continuously noting mind, the normal process of consciousness does not result in the generations of new karma. The normal process of consciousness that occur every time we encounter a sense object is called viti, thought process in Pali. When we are asleep and when there is no sensory contact, it is inactive consciousness, bhuvinga. When we are awake, life continuum consciousness, called bhuvinga citta, occurs continuously in the flow, one unit at a time. When we encounter a sense object, this bhuvinga consciousness gets interrupted. If a visible object impedes on the eye's sensitivity, then the seeing process arises. Now, when you hear the sound hits your eardrums, then the hearing process arises. If a smell enters into your nose, then smelling process arises. If a taste falls into your tongue, then the tasting process arises. If a tangible object contacts the body, then the touching process arises. If a thought arises in your heart base, then thinking process arises. So these six mental processes are called six viti, mental process. After the viti process ceases, then bhuvinga or life continuum consciousness continues again. What happens when the normal seeing process or seeing viti arises? When a visible object and the physical eye sensitivity come into contact as though they are colliding with each other, bhuvinga consciousness gets disrupted. Before the visible object and the eye sensitivity come into contact, the bhuvinga consciousness, which is continually disappearing, is called Atita bhuvinga or past bhuvinga. It is a bhuvinga consciousness which has already passed away before the eye sensitivity and visible object collide. After this Atita bhuvinga disappears, another bhuvinga consciousness arises after it. During this time, the visible object and eye sensitivity are ready to collide with each other. Now the flow of bhuvinga consciousness is disrupted. The person is trying to pay attention to the visible object which has entered into the eye sensitivity. This consciousness is called bhuvinga chalana or vibrating bhuvinga. When the vibrating bhuvinga ceases, yet another bhuvinga consciousness arises. This consciousness is most unstable. And when this consciousness disappears, fourth one cannot arise after it. So the Bhuvinga, which is cut off, is called Bhuvingu Picheda, or the life continuum consciousness, which is cut off. After the Bhuvinga consciousness ceases, a new consciousness arises and inquires about the visible object, as though asking, what is it? This consciousness is called Avijjanajita, or inquiring or adverting consciousness. This consciousness simply considers the object which has entered into the eye. After this adverting consciousness ceases, and Chakku Vijnana, seeing consciousness arises. So this seeing consciousness only see the object. No liking or no disliking has arisen at this point. When this seeing consciousness disappears, then Sampatechana Citta, or receiving consciousness, arises. After this, Santirana Citta, or investigating consciousness, arises. Up to this point in the mental process, no decision has been made whether the object is good or bad, likable or detestable. No mental defilements have arisen yet. So you need to understand. Yogi need to understand. It is to remember that Avijjana only inquires, seeing consciousness only sees, Sampatechana only receives, Santirana only investigates. These separate units of consciousness do not have any power or momentum. After the investigating consciousness ceases, Votapana Citta, or determining consciousness, arises. Votapana makes a decision whether the object is good or bad. Even now, no defilements have arisen yet, but mental defilements are very, very close to arising. Immediately after Votapana Citta ceases, 7 jhana consciousness, accompanied by greed, hatred, and delusion, or some good people, wholesome mental state, arise one after another. What is jhana? Jhana means impulsion with a fast and powerful momentum. When lobha, greed arises, it does so as though running into and catching the desired object by force. When anger arises, it does so as though running into and attacking the hated object by force. When moha arises, ignorance which knows wrongly arises. It does so as though running into the related object by force. When good people inclining to do marriage, wholesome consciousness arises. It does so as though running into the object by force, so it is called jhana. After jhana, impulsion arises in sequence, it disappears. Then two Dhararamana or registering consciousness arise. Dhararamana are the consciousness which follow the object of jhana and continue to take these objects. So we need to remember that Otapana only makes a decision. It has no power or momentum, and it is not able to give wholesome or unwholesome results. It is only functional. Jhana consciousness, however, it is accompanied by very strong unwholesome or wholesome factors. It is chemically potent. So that is Jhana has the power to give or giving good or bad results in the future. Once the mental process reaches jhana and mental defilements have arisen, then new jati, new rebirths are being generated. Once there is rebirth, there will be aging, disease, death, sorrow, and the whole mass of suffering, kivala dukkha. We need to understand the lifespan of a single process of consciousness is just 17 mind moments. The lifespan of the material body, rupa, is equal with these 17 mind moments. So the mental process, in one thought process, there are past bhuvinga, theta bhuvinga, vibrating bhuvinga, bhuvinga chalana, arrest bhuvinga, or bhuvingu vicheda, or cut off bhuvinga, avijana, which inquires, seeing consciousness which sees, sampadejana chitta which receive the object, santirana which investigates, utapana which determines, seven impulsion jhana, and two dhararamana registering consciousness. All of these are separate. One unit ceases, another arises. If we look at the occurrence of mental process of just a single moment of seeing, which happens without our will, and whether we like it or not, we can find no solid and enduring I, or no self in this process. It is just a sequence of different types of consciousness, each with its own function, arising in due course and then disappearing without any remainder. So to summarize this thought process, witty process, here gives an example. A man is sleeping under a mango tree. He wakes up, startled by a mango which has fallen near his ear. So he look at it to see what is it. I see a mango, takes it up in his hand, squeezing the mango, examining it. Then he smells. After smelling, he knows it is ripe. So he eats mango. After thinking about its taste, he goes back to sleep. First, being asleep is like a life continuum consciousness. Then the impact of the falling mango which startled the man is like a cut of buenga, arrest buenga. After waking, inquiring about what the object is like awajana. Seeing the object is like seeing consciousness, we see the visual object. Taking up the mango is like sampadejana, receiving consciousness. Squeezing the mango and examining it is like santirana or investigating consciousness. Smelling the mango, tasting the mango and evaluating it is like utapana or determining consciousness. Eating the mango is like javana. Thinking over the taste of the mango is like dhararamana or registering consciousness. Going back to sleep is like reverting back to Bhavanga or life continuum consciousness. So when we see something that witty process arises, for your general knowledge, need to understand one complete idol process, and we need to understand that the lifespan of rupa or material body is equal with 70 mind moments. So 70 mind moments, can you follow me? Streams of Bhavanga, past Bhavanga, vibrating Bhavanga, arrest Bhavanga, five door of adverting, seeing consciousness, receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, determining consciousness, javana, impulsion 7 times, registering consciousness, tataramana, 2 times, streams of Bhuvinga. So altogether 17 thought, 17 mind movement. Starting from past Bhuvinga, vibrating Bhuvinga, arrest Bhuvinga, 5 door abadin, Vinchadara Vajana, Chaku Vijnana, seeing consciousness, Sampatechana Jita, receiving consciousness, Santirana, investigating, Votapana, determining, and Javana, impulsion 7 times, Tataramana, registering 2 times, and then streams of consciousness. So how does this witty process change when practicing meditation? It is up to your scale, up to your effort, you can change this witty. So if you study Abhidhamma, Manta, the great object, Ati Manta, very great object, Manta, great object, Preta, slight object, Ati Preta, very slight object. So due to your practice, due to your mindfulness and concentration, you can change this witty pattern, witty process. So when meditators reach the stage of Balawa Vipassana, strong Vipassana, the object appear to that yogi, and after Atita Bhuvinga 4 times or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 times. Utthapana, determining consciousness arises 2 or 3 times, and there will be no jhana, impulsion. So that is for the advanced yogi, because meditator continuously and immediately noting. So for the yogi, the process of consciousness does not reach jhana. The noting mind interrupts the normal sequence of consciousness, so that this becomes comically ineffective. When yogi observes the presently arising mental and physical phenomena without a break, there is no desire for object which may cause mental defilements to arise. His inclination is to note, to capture the reality. He has no intention to look for object, and there is no searching for sense object. There is no thinking over the object in his mind. So sense objects are very slow to appear at the sense door of the yogi. Because avijjana or advaita consciousness does not occur strongly, the seeing consciousness sees the object. The seeing is not very distinct. Sampadejana Cheta which receive the object is also not very clear, because its breaking power is very strong. A Santirana cannot clearly investigate the object. So Votapana cannot exactly evaluate or determine the object. If it cannot evaluate the object, then jhana does not have a chance to occur. So after Votapana occurs for 2 or 3 times, Venga consciousness takes place again. So no jhana, no impulsion citta arise for that yogi. So this is the very successful practice. So the object which is noted right away is not clear or obvious enough for his mental defilements arise. For these objects which are only seen, yogi can understand the true nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self after noting and observing them immediately. In this way, mental defilements cannot arise during the first witty process, when he or she is only seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. Because of knowing the true nature after noting and observing, kilesa cannot arise in the subsequent witty or mental process either. So it is as though the object cannot be seen at all. Yogi is totally purifying from mental defilements and karmic resultants. So that is what is meant by Dikti Dittama Tambhavesati. In the Malita Buddha, Buddha said, let there be only seeing with regard to what is seeing. It is a key point to remember regarding our vipassana practice. And the witty process which rethink the object after the first seeing, hearing, etc. is called Mindo Dadanu Vitaka Witty, or following witty. It is a mental process which arises after the first seeing process has occurred. Up to this Daranuvitaka Viti, or second Viti, the visible object which are taken as object of consciousness are still ultimate reality, Paramattha Dhamma. They have not yet become concept Pinyati. So at this moment, if yogi missed noting during the first Viti, you can stay, note, and observe during the second. So yogis who practice vipassana should strive so that you can note and observe from the beginning of the seeing process, so as catch either the first viti or second viti, so that you will know only paramattha, only ultimate reality, and not no concept. So immediate and continuous noting is essential, because the witty process occurs so quickly during a single moment of sensory contact. So if the person cannot note and observe after the Dara Nuvadaga, the mind or witty, then at that witty arises. So this consciousness takes the place of form as an object. He knows now the conceptual form of visible object which has been seen. During this witty, strong and powerful unwholesome jhana or karmic impulsion can arise. After this mind moment, the fourth witty arises. At this time, consciousness takes the concept of name as an object. That is, he now knows the name of the visible object which has been seen, such as man, woman, ugly, or beautiful, etc. In the process of consciousness, stronger and wholesome jhana can arise. So after the seeing process, the subsequent thinking process occurs for 3 entire mind moments. So when the visible object appears in the eye sensitivity, at first there is seeing. It is only the seeing process. After this, the visible object which has been seen is reflected upon. It is the Tatanuvitaka, mind or witty. After this, if reflection continues, the conceptual meaning of the image or the form of the object appears. After this, if reflection continues further, the name concept of the object appears. So mental defilements can arise during the third witty and fourth witty. That is why yogi have to note and observe urgently so that you can catch the present moment. So you can note during the first viti and second viti, before pinyati, concept can arise, and before the mental defilements can arise. So we use the example of noting seeing in our discussion, but during meditation, yogi have to note all the six sense door and trying to stay anchored on the main object of rising and falling of the abdomen and lifting, moving, and placing the foot. When we observe the physical body, things like stiffness, tension, movement, heat, cold, softness, hardness, lightness, heaviness, etc., are things we should observe and know. And these are sensations we can personally experience. These are pramata, ultimate reality. So we observe Paramata ultimate reality so as to develop our concentration and insight knowledge. We do not observe the form or shape of the abdomen or foot or concept such as man, woman, etc. And also yogi do not think or analyze or reflect at all about what you observe or experience. Yogi simply note and know the present object for one moment, and then note and know again, and note and know again, moment by moment, with focus and continuous concentration. So this observation is active, flexible, and dynamic. You focus and aim, and your mind hits the moving meditation target again and again. The yogi do this not just once or twice or 10 times, but continuously during all your waking moments. Now nearly 1 month, you are stay noting, stay hitting the object, so you can stay in the realms of paramata, ultimate reality, as much as possible. It is actually very simple. Buddha teaching meditation techniques is very, very simple. If you practice simply and continuously, insight knowledge will happen by itself when you practice correctly. There's no need to search for nirvana. Nirvana will really realize and experience. So when thoughts occur and interrupt our concentration on the primary object, we have to note the thoughts. When noting thoughts, it is very important not to be concerned with the content of the thoughts. Just know that thinking has occurred without becoming involved in the story. So be careful not to identify with the thoughts and react to them, whether the thoughts are good or bad. We just know them a few times and return quickly to our primary object of rising and falling, lifting, moving, and placing. So when we meditate, there is absolutely no time for thinking, imagining, planning, reflecting, or analyzing. Thinking is Thinking has nothing to do with this insight knowledge and wisdom that we are trying to develop. So the moment we start thinking about what we have observed, we are already lost in the realms of concept. So if we want to experience nirvana, which is beyond conceptual understanding, we cannot use the conceptual thinking process to get there. Freedom from mental defilement is true happiness that we all gain moment by moment during our meditation practice until we can reach nirvana, which is permanent happiness that can cut off latent defilements forever. So in the Malucha Buddha, Buddha said, if you have no chance to see, kilesa can be extinguished naturally. When visible objects are not seen, kilesa ceases by itself. So because of this, you choose very secluded place. You don't, you don't, you don't. You try to avoid seeing. You try to avoid hearing, etc. Because these objects are not seen or heard, kilesa can be extinguished naturally. Can you follow me? When visible objects are not seen, kilesa ceases by itself. When visible objects are seen, kilesa lies in wait. Every time you note seeing, kilesa are being removed. Every time you note seeing, the kilesa are being removed. So very simple, see, hearing, etc. We need to note whenever we see, hear, etc. If our noting is delay, what will happen? We will enter into concept. First, we see the visible object at the moment it appears, and after seeing it, we think about it. And then concept arises. Concept of form arises in our mind. Finally, we only know nama pinyati, name concept. So that is immediately we feel to note. Can you follow me? First, you see the object. At the moment it appears. After seeing it, you think about it. Concept of form arises in your mind. Finally, you only know name concept. So if you fail to note seeing, so concept will arise. So immediate noting is necessary. As soon as you see, note seeing immediately. As soon as you see, note seeing immediately. You stop just the seeing process. You know mind and matter are separate. You also know arising and disappearing. You understand the three characteristics, nature, dukkha, and anatta. So as soon as you see, you know seeing immediately. As soon as you hear, you know hearing. And you stop at just seeing or hearing, etc. So you know without thinking, mind and matter. Hearing is just hearing consciousness, and eardrums and sound wave. Mind and matter, due to your concentration, you can separate. And then as soon as you know hearing, it disappears. So you understand these characteristics again and again, anicca, dukkha, anatta, again and again. And finally, that knowledge mature and you attain nirvana. So we have to stop our discourse for today by practicing vipassana meditation by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses. May all yogis understand the three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. May all yogis be liberated from suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.